the, the invisible scaffolding that holds up every AI system, the policies, the practices, the security measures that make them truly trustworthy and compliant. It's not just about the cool algorithms, right? It's about the foundational work that makes them reliable.
Precisely. And today we're taking a deep dive into those critical questions. We're looking at insights straight from the front lines of AI governance, risk, and security.
Yeah,
Think of us as your guides, maybe, helping you navigate the practical challenges and the smart strategies organizations are adopting when they deploy AI.
that's right. We've pulled together a rich collection of sources covering, well, everything from ensuring regulatory compliance to managing data through its entire life cycle,
Hmm.
and even how to sort of batten down the hatches against security threats. Our mission, to distill these sometimes complex topics into clear, actionable knowledge for you. Let's get started.
AI governance and program management.
So first up, imagine a big financial institution. They're rolling out a new AI system designed to detect fraud. Sounds like a game changer, yeah.
Absolutely.
But before they even flip the switch, what's the absolute primary reason, based on our sources, that they would need a robust set of AI governance policies documented?
What's truly fascinating here, and you see this a lot, is how much of AI implementation, especially in regulated industries like finance, is driven by compliance.
Ah, okay.
For financial institutions, I mean, they're operating under extremely strict frameworks.
Hmm.
An AI system that's making decisions about, say, customer accounts or flagging potential issues,
Mm.
it demands explainable decision-making.
Right. You need to know why.
Exactly. Without that meticulous governance documentation, they're not just risking efficiency, they're looking at, well, significant regulatory penalties. It's not a nice to have anymore.
Yeah.
It's an absolute necessity to avoid major legal and financial headaches. It's really about demonstrating how the AI reached its conclusion, not just that it did.
So it's about much more than just catching the bad guys then. It's about being able to prove, step by step, how the AI caught them and being fully prepared for those inevitable audits.
That's it.
That makes perfect sense when you frame it as a regulatory mandate. Okay, building on that, when you're developing these powerful AI models, especially during the training phase, what emerges as the biggest challenge from our sources?
This raises a really important question that, frankly, many organizations grapple with. While having diverse, comprehensive data sets is absolutely crucial for building a robust and fair AI.
Sure, you need good data.
You do. But the most significant hurdle often lies in safeguarding sensitive information within that data during training.
Ah, okay. Within the training set itself.
Yes, if your model is being fed sensitive customer records or maybe medical information or proprietary business data, then ensuring privacy and security isn't just a concern. It becomes the paramount challenge. It's about handling that sensitive information not just correctly, but responsibly throughout the entire process.
That's a critical distinction. It's not just about getting the data, it's protecting it during training. Now, here's a scenario that's unfortunately becoming more common. An AI-powered hiring system disproportionately rejects candidates from a certain demographic.
Yeah.
Big problem.
Yeah. How does our source material suggest an organization best ensures compliance with laws and regulations in a situation like that?
Well, if we connect this to the broader landscape of AI ethics and regulation, addressing bias isn't a one-time fix. It just isn't.
No quick solution.
No. The best approach involves conducting systematic bias detection and impact assessments, and crucially, doing this continuously while training and evaluating the AI system.
Continuously.
This proactive and iterative remediation process is what truly aligns an organization with critical legal and ethical obligations. Think GDPR, the upcoming EU AI Act, EEOC guidelines here in the US.
Right.
It speaks to a commitment to ongoing vigilance, not just a snapshot check at the beginning. So it's not just about vetting the initial data, but about consistently scrutinizing the results and outcomes the AI produces over time. That feels like a significant shift in thinking for many, moving from a static check to dynamic monitoring.
It really is.
Okay, when we zoom out and consider the overall procedures for an artificial intelligence solution, what's a truly critical component that absolutely must be included?
Human oversight. Undeniably vital.
Okay, the human in the loop.
Exactly. No matter how advanced an AI system becomes, it's the mechanism that ensures AI decisions are ethically sound, that they align with organizational values, and importantly, that any potential biases or errors are identified and addressed before the system goes live or makes critical decisions.
Right, before impact.
Even the most sophisticated AI needs that human element to guide, validate, and, well, intervene when necessary. It's the ultimate safety net and the source of accountability, really.
That brings up an interesting point about regulations. Shifting specifically to the regulations for securing AI systems, what's a key regulatory requirement that keeps coming up in this domain?
Explainability and auditability. Regulations consistently demand these from AI systems.
Explainability and auditability.
Yes. And this isn't just for, internal security checks. It's fundamental for external accountability, for understanding the real-world human impact of AI decisions.
Makes sense.
When a system can explain how it arrived at a particular conclusion, and that whole process can be traced and verified, it builds crucial trust, not just in the system itself, but in the organization deploying it. It's about proving you've done your due diligence.
Let's stick with explainability for just a moment because it feels so central. If a large multinational company is using AI to screen job applications, what's the primary purpose of ensuring the AI system's explainability in this specific HR scenario?
Well, in an HR context like hiring, the primary purpose of explainability is really to promote transparency in those decisions. Hiring managers, maybe even the candidates themselves eventually, need to understand why certain candidates were selected or rejected. Explainability provides that crucial insight into the AI's decision-making process. It allows for fair and justifiable outcomes.
And probably helps avoid legal trouble, too.
Absolutely. It helps address potential legal challenges related to discrimination.
Okay, so we know explainability is paramount, but what's the best action an organization can actually take to improve the transparency and auditability of an AI system's outputs, like practically speaking?
Right. This is where the rubber meets the road for practical application. The best action is to implement controls. Controls that are specifically aligned to the AI's rationale, the data it uses, and its potential impact.
Okay, rationale, data, impact. What does that look like?
Well, what this means in practice is designing the AI system to produce clear, structured explanations for its outputs. Maybe logging the specific features that influenced a decision, or showing which data points were weighted most heavily, or even outlining potential downstream impacts.
So it tells you how it decided.
Exactly. This makes the decisions traceable, auditable, and easily understood, which, directly supports trust and accountability. It's about building explainability directly into the system's architecture, not just tacking it on later.
That's a deep dive into the operational side. Okay, for a global enterprise, then, how do you best handle that confusing patchwork of AI regulations? They vary so much across different jurisdictions, right? How do you ensure legal and ethical alignment everywhere?
Yeah, the challenge here is definitely the sheer diversity of global regulations. It's complex.
For sure.
The most effective approach isn't to wait for some mythical global alignment, because that might never happen.
Right. Don't hold your breath.
Exactly. Instead, organizations should proactively map applicable regional and international AI laws, like the EU AI Act or maybe California's AI regulations, map those to their internal governance policies based on their geographical presence,
Right.
where they actually operate.
So a tailored approach.
Yes. This ensures compliance, it helps maintain ethical alignment, and crucially, it makes them audit-ready across all their operating locations. It's about creating a comprehensive but also adaptable framework.
That sounds like a monumental task, but absolutely necessary. What's the best way, then, to ensure accountability and ethical oversight for all AI initiatives across an entire enterprise, not just one project?
This raises an important question about systemic control, doesn't it? How do you manage it all?
Yeah.
A formal, well-defined governance framework for AI use is paramount. It has to be formalized.
A framework.
Yes, this framework goes beyond individual projects. It assigns clear roles for decision-making authority, for policy management, risk assessment, and continuous oversight across every AI initiative. It's the strategic backbone. It ensures responsible and ethical AI use is embedded throughout the entire organization, from conception to deployment and beyond.
Got it. Moving on slightly, if a highly regulated organization wants to expand its use of AI into really sensitive business functions, think, I don't know, critical infrastructure, health data.
High-stakes stuff.
Exactly. What best ensures this AI initiative aligns with both overarching business goals and those rigorous ethical standards?
In such sensitive areas, implementing an AI steering committee is critical.
A steering committee?
Yes, comprised of key stakeholders from across the business: legal, ethics, business units, technology, all represented. This committee provides high-level strategic direction and oversight. They are accountable for ensuring that all AI programs not only meet defined business objectives, but also rigorously adhere to regulatory requirements and proactively address any ethical implications of the AI systems on humans.
So top-down oversight.
It ensures a holistic and responsible approach from the top down.
Okay, final one in this section. When we talk about the overall security of an AI system, what stands out as the most critical component in its entire framework according to our sources?
It truly all comes back to the fundamentals: secure data handling and robust model integrity verification.
Data handling and model integrity.
These are non-negotiables. This means ensuring that the data used to train and operate the model is protected from unauthorized access or alteration. And, just as important, that the model itself hasn't been tampered with at any point.
Right.
This directly prevents biased or harmful outputs and maintains the system's trustworthiness. If your data isn't secure or your model isn't pristine, well, everything else is at risk.
AI-related strategies, policies, and procedures.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Imagine an enterprise that adopted a general AI policy last year. Standard stuff. But now they're deep into using generative AI tools. Everyone's using them.
Yeah, that's happening everywhere.
What's the most important reason they should review and update that original policy right now?
Well, what's fascinating here is just the sheer pace of change in the AI landscape. It's incredible.
It really is.
AI policies simply can't be static documents. They just can't sit on a shelf. They must be periodically reviewed and updated to remain relevant, especially given the rapid evolution of laws, new risk factors popping up, and of course, the explosion of new AI capabilities like generative AI.
Right, Gen AI changes everything.
It does. Neglecting this review leads to significant compliance gaps and can result in misaligned or even, dangerous usage practices you have to keep up.
That makes a lot of sense. The tech just moves too fast. Now imagine an enterprise planning an AI chatbot. It processes demographic data, uses a vector database, retrieval augmented generation, RAG maybe?
Okay, fairly standard setup now.
Right. Under most shared responsibility models in cloud environments, what kind of service would give this enterprise the most control over its data and the underlying model?
In a shared responsibility model, infrastructure as a service, or IaaS, that stands out because it offers the deepest level of control over the underlying infrastructure. While the cloud provider manages the physical hardware, the enterprise retains significant control over the operating systems, applications, and importantly, the data.
More control for the user.
Exactly. This empowers the enterprise to directly manage the training data, the output data, manipulate the model as needed, and implement their own specific security and safety controls, which is crucial when you're dealing with sensitive demographic information.
So, if control is paramount, IAs gives them the most levers.
Oh.
Okay? When an enterprise is deciding whether to build an AI recommendation engine in-house or procure a commercial off-the-shelf solution, what's the most important factor guiding that decision?
This raises a really important question that goes beyond just the technical feasibility. I mean, can we build it? Sure.
Right.
But while technical considerations are certainly relevant, the strategic alignment with the enterprise's broader business needs is absolutely paramount.
Strategic alignment.
Yes. Does building it in-house give a unique competitive advantage? Does a commercial solution integrate better with existing systems, maybe? Is speed to market more important? This why determines the long-term viability and appropriateness of building versus buying the AI solution rather than just the how.
That's a great perspective. Okay, generative AI assistants. They're now practically everywhere, helping employees create all sorts of content. What's the first action an organization should take to ensure employees are using these powerful tools responsibly?
Employee understanding is truly foundational here. You have to start there.
Makes sense.
The first action should be to provide targeted, comprehensive training to employees, and couple that with a clear, acceptable use policy, an AUP.
Training and an AUP.
Yes. This ensures that employees grasp the scope of authorized use for generative AI, that they understand the sensitivity of the data they can input or generate, and that they're clear on the behavioral expectations for using these tools. This proactive step is crucial for reducing misuse, protecting intellectual property, and aligning with ethical AI use.
Okay. When we observe bias present not just in AI datasets, but also in organizational practices and processes across the entire AI lifecycle, what type of bias are we talking about there?
Right, that's a big one. We're talking about systemic bias. Systemic bias. It's a really pervasive challenge because it isn't confined to just the raw data or a single algorithm. It's woven into the organizational norms, the established practices, the processes that span the entire AI lifecycle from how data is collected to how models are developed, deployed, and monitored. Recognizing it as systemic is the critical first step toward comprehensive and effective mitigation strategies, because you have to address the root causes, not just the symptoms.
So it's about looking at the bigger picture, the whole system, not just individual components.
Right.
Given that, what best helps to reduce algorithmic bias and discrimination in practice?
Regular independent audits on decision tools are a highly recommended and effective method.
Audits.
Yes. Regular audits. This isn't just about initial checks before deployment. It allows for proactive identification and correction of biases that might emerge within the AI's decision-making processes over time. Things can drift.
Right.
So audits ensure fairness and equity in outcomes. It's a continuous feedback loop, really.
Okay. Now, an organization has an AI acceptable use policy, AUP, in place. They did the training, but despite that, violations are still happening. What's the most effective control they can put in place to enforce compliance and reduce future violations?
Right, this is where policy meets reality. While training and clear policies are essential building blocks.
You need more sometimes.
You do. Without clear enforcement processes, an AUP lacks real teeth. The most effective control is to define clear investigation procedures and, importantly, robust disciplinary consequences for AI policy breaches.
Consequences.
Yes. When employees understand there are defined repercussions for misuse, it significantly supports the credibility and effectiveness of AI policies. It promotes accountability and deters future violations. It makes the policy tangible, not just a document they sign once.
That's a stark reminder. The policies need enforcement. Okay, shifting back to the beginning. If an organization is looking to implement a new AI solution for something like financial fraud detection, what should be the first action they take before even thinking about the tech?
This is such a critical first step, and honestly, too many organizations skip it or rush through it.
Yeah.
Before diving into the technical aspects of building or buying an AI solution, you absolutely must identify and clearly define the specific business challenges the AI solution aims to solve. What problem are we actually fixing?
Define the problem first.
Exactly. Define the problem, identify the needs of all relevant stakeholders, and map out the concrete solution requirements throughout its entire life cycle. This foundational work ensures the project aligns with overarching business objectives and strategy. It prevents costly missteps and ensures the AI actually addresses a real problem effectively.
That's good advice. Define the problem before building the solution. Okay. When an enterprise is setting up its AI governance framework and needs to develop procedures for secure and reliable AI outcomes, what's the best reason to actually document those AI-specific procedures? Why write it all down?
Well, documented AI-specific procedures are essential because they ensure consistency. Consistency in AI data processing, in model development, in monitoring.
Consistency.
Yes. And that consistency, in turn, significantly reduces error rates and promotes trust in model behavior. They provide a clear, standardized roadmap for how AI systems should be developed, deployed, and monitored. It leads to more predictable, reliable, and secure outcomes. It's about achieving repeatable success, not just relying on individual heroics.
Makes sense. Okay, if an enterprise is developing its very first AI acceptable use policy, AUP, specifically for internal use of generative AI tools, what's the most important component they should make sure to include in that first AUP?
Use case restrictions. Specifying categories of permitted and restricted AI use cases is paramount in this context.
What you can and can't do.
Precisely. This clearly defines the boundaries for how employees can interact with generative AI tools. What kind of data can they input? What types of content can they create or use it for? It's crucial that these restrictions are well-defined and informed by the organization's strategic context, its legal obligations, its risk appetite, all of that. This ensures the policy is both practical and effective in preventing misuse and protecting sensitive information.
Got it. What's a key factor in artificial intelligence data lifecycle management that often gets overlooked, something people forget about?
An often overlooked but vital aspect is creating retention policies specifically for model training data.
The training data itself?
Yes. These policies are essential. They define the appropriate duration for how long training data can be stored, balancing legal and business needs. They minimize security risks associated with holding onto data indefinitely, and they support overall data governance. Without them, you can end up with this huge, potentially risky amount of data you no longer actually need.
Right. Data hoarding. Bad idea. Okay. When establishing procedures for data privacy in artificial intelligence solutions, what's a key consideration that really underpins everything else?
Ensuring informed consent and maintaining data confidentiality, those two.
Consent and confidentiality.
They're absolutely critical to upholding privacy rights and meeting regulatory standards like GDPR or CCPA. Especially when dealing with personal or sensitive data, these principles form the bedrock of ethical and compliant AI solutions. You must tell people how their data will be used, get their okay if needed, and then rigorously protect it. Non-negotiable.
Finally, in this section, if an organization is launching a responsible artificial intelligence (RAI) program specifically to build trust in its AI systems, what's the most effective first action they can take to ensure its success?
This is foundational. I mean, for any successful enterprise-wide initiative, really. Responsible AI programs require active, visible support from leadership, top down.
Leadership buy-in.
Exactly. Their commitment models ethical values, it fosters trust throughout the organization, and it drives organization-wide adoption. Leadership sets the expectations and the direction for long-term accountability, which is essential for building a truly responsible AI culture. Without that top-level buy-in, even the best-designed program can falter.
AI assets and data lifecycle management.
Okay, let's shift our focus now to the AI data lifecycle itself. When thinking about ensuring compliance with data regulations throughout this entire cycle, what's most important?
Well, reviewing policies is certainly important. You have to do that. But the actual definition and, crucially, the rigorous enforcement of data retention and disposal policies, that's primary for compliance.
Definition and enforcement.
Yes. This isn't just about having a policy sitting somewhere on the intranet. It's about ensuring data is stored only as long as legally or operationally necessary, and then securely disposed of. This proactive management aligns with legal requirements and minimizes the significant risks associated with over-retention of sensitive data.
That makes sense. Less data, less risk. Speaking of sensitive data, a government agency has trained an AI model with personal data. Now they're moving it to long-term storage. What would best ensure the security of that training data once it's just sitting in storage?
Data encryption. Specifically, encryption of data at rest. That's the paramount measure here.
Encrypt it while it's stored.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This protects sensitive information from unauthorized access, from breaches or misuse, even if the storage medium itself, like the hard drive or the cloud bucket, is somehow compromised. It should absolutely be prioritized to ensure the highest level of security, especially when moving data to long-term archives where it might be less actively monitored.
That seems like a fundamental security practice. Now, a financial company wants to share its loan data set with a third-party vendor. They want to improve their AI risk model. What's the primary reason for anonymizing that data before sharing it?
Well, loan information almost certainly contains personally identifiable information, PII.
Right. Names, numbers.
Exactly. Things like names, addresses, social security numbers, potentially financial details. The primary reason for anonymizing this data is to ensure strict compliance with data privacy regulations. Anonymizing the data removes the ability to link it back to specific individuals.
Breaks the link.
Right. Which is a key step for secure, legal, and ethical data sharing. It helps protect privacy while still allowing the data to be used for its intended purpose.
So it's about using the data effectively without compromising individual privacy or regulatory mandates.
Got it. What's the best approach for a financial institution to categorize its AI models for really effective risk management?
The most effective approach is to categorize AI models based on their potential business impact and their overall risk level. Impact and risk level.
Yes. This allows for the implementation of tailored security controls. By understanding the criticality of each model, is it high impact, low impact, high risk, low risk? Organizations can apply controls that are directly proportional to the specific threats and vulnerabilities of that model. This optimizes their risk management efforts, ensuring resources are allocated efficiently where they're most needed.
That seems like a very practical, risk-based way to approach it. Okay,
Uh-huh.
what security vulnerability can persist and become a real headache even after an AI system has supposedly been fully decommissioned from production environments?
This raises a really important question that, frankly, many organizations overlook. Decommission doesn't always mean gone.
Uh-oh.
The vulnerability lies in residual model artifacts, leftovers. This includes leftover data in backups, maybe system logs, temporary files, or even mismanaged cloud resources that might still be accessible somewhere.
Stuff left behind.
Exactly. If these residual artifacts are not properly sanitized or securely deleted, they pose a significant long-term risk. Risk for data breaches, compliance violations, or even intellectual property theft long after the system is supposed to be out of commission.
That's a scary thought, like a ghost in the machine. Okay. What's the first step in managing security risks specifically associated with open source components that are used in AI systems? So many systems use open source now.
We do. And a comprehensive inventory is absolutely foundational here. The first step is to create and meticulously maintain an accurate software bill of materials, an SBOM, for each AI system.
SBO.
Yes. Without an accurate SBOM, it becomes incredibly difficult, almost impossible, to identify vulnerabilities within the open source components, manage their licenses correctly, or assess potential supply chain risks. It provides the necessary transparency and visibility into every single piece of software that makes up your AI solution. And that's essential for managing security effectively.
So you really can't protect what you don't know you have. Okay. What's the primary consideration when you're implementing data classification within an artificial intelligence environment?
Understanding and defining classification levels. That's the primary consideration.
The levels themselves.
Yes, this isn't just a technical task, it's a strategic one. These classification levels, whether it's, public, internal, confidential, highly sensitive, they form the absolute foundation for how data is handled, protected, and processed throughout the entire AI environment.
Right.
They dictate the appropriate security measures, the access controls, the compliance requirements that must be applied to that data. It's the starting point for effective data governance.
When managing data gathered from another source for use in an AI model, what's most important to consider about that external data you didn't create?
The most important consideration is verifying data provenance.
Provenance,
Meaning knowing the origin and the complete history of the data. Where did it come from? How was it collected? Has it been altered? And alongside that, ensuring its regulatory compliance. Is it legal to use this data?
got it. Origin and legality.
Yes. This is absolutely crucial for the reliability, the integrity, and the legality of the AI model's inputs. If you don't know where the data came from, how it was collected, or if it meets all relevant privacy laws, you can't truly trust the model's outputs or protect yourself against legal risks.
Which action, then, would result in the most significant security vulnerability during the entire AI system decommissioning process? The biggest mistake you could make when shutting it down.
The action that would result in the most significant security vulnerability is retaining active service accounts and application programming interface, API keys, that are linked to the model artifacts, leaving those active.
Active accounts and API keys.
Yes. When an AI system is decommissioned, these overlooked credentials can retain permissions to access residual data or functionality. This creates persistent security gaps that malicious actors can exploit long after the system is supposedly retired. It can lead to major data breaches or unauthorized access. It's a classic oversight with potentially huge consequences.
That's a powerful point about cleanup, really dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Okay, finally, what best describes the role of data quality in artificial intelligence AI model performance?
Well, the quality of the data directly and profoundly impacts the model's output. It's fundamental.
Garbage in, garbage out.
That's the classic saying, and it's absolutely true here. High-quality, relevant, clean data significantly improves the accuracy, the reliability, and the overall performance of AI models. And critically, it can also reduce the frequency with which those models need to be retrained.
Saves effort too.
Exactly, which saves considerable resources and improves efficiency. So yeah, high quality in, high performance out. Outro.
Phew, okay, that was a lot to unpack. From establishing robust governance frameworks to understanding data provenance, the critical need for human oversight, proper decommissioning, we've truly navigated the complex landscape of AI security and ethics today.
We really covered some ground.
So, what does all this mean for you, whether you're building AI, buying AI, or just interacting with it daily?
Well, I think it means that the future of AI isn't solely about the technological breakthroughs or the dazzling new features, as cool as those are. It's profoundly shaped by how we govern it, how we secure it, and how we manage the data and the models throughout their entire life cycle.
Yeah.
In a world awash with information, maybe overload, critical thinking about these underlying practices is just essential. Applying these kinds of insights ensures not just more secure AI, but also more responsible, more ethical, and ultimately more effective AI deployment.
Absolutely. And the truly surprising fact here, for me at least, is how interconnected all these seemingly disparate elements are. Governance, data, security, ethics.
They all weave together.
Exactly. Each question and answer we explored today highlights a vital piece of the puzzle for building AI systems that aren't just intelligent on the surface, but are actually truly trustworthy and reliable deep down. What stands out most to you from today's deep dive? Something to maybe mull over until our next conversation.